Welcome everyone to another video in our series that explores sample records management configurations in mFiles using AutoRecords. As with all of our samples, the details of this configuration are available in the online documentation for AutoRecords. Working samples using these configurations are also available in the sample vault, which you can download from TeamIM and begin experimenting with today. All of our sample videos and documentation assume you're familiar with records management concepts, the mFiles user interface, and that you have a basic understanding of AutoRecords. In this session, we're going to see how to set up a configuration where we want to provide a 1-month review period for a document prior to having it deleted. We'll be setting up financial audits to be deleted 10 years after they're created with a 1-month review period before the deletion. We'll walk through all the steps in this configuration as if nothing has been previously configured on the system. We'll start by creating a new policy object in mFiles. First, we need to give the policy a name. Policy name should be consistent, so when reviewing all of the policies on the system, the list is fairly well organized. It's worth considering whether we want the policy names to include a description of retention or just the documents that are included. Generally, we recommend that policy names reflect the types of documents contained in the policy names, since including retention can get a bit unwieldy at this level. Using this example, we may want the name to be Financial Documents-Audits, since this will handle financial documents which have a document type of audit. The next thing we'll do is select the document class or classes that belong in this policy. In this case, it's just the financial document class. However, since there are many types of financial documents, we need to add a trigger to limit this policy to specific types of financial documents. Only documents that match the criteria in the trigger will be included in the policy. In this case, we will set up a property trigger with the property trigger set to document type. The document type property is used by a financial document class in our example to separate various types of financial documents. Next, we'll set the comparator to equal to and the value to audit. Importantly, document type is a select list, so behind the scenes mFiles assigns an ID to each possible value. So our comparison cannot be to a text value of audit, it must be to the ID assigned to that value by mFiles. In order to do this comparison against the proper ID, we must manually add the property document type to the trigger property metadata card, and then we select the value we want to use for comparison. With that, our trigger is set up. So only financial documents with a document type equal to audit will be included in this policy. Finally, we need to add a policy owner. In this example, we want someone to be assigned to review the audit documents 1 month before they are deleted. We are going to assign those audits to the policy owner for review, so we must select a policy owner here. With the policy owner set, we can begin to set up the retention category. The retention category gets assigned to all documents that qualify for the policy and schedules an event or events to perform retention actions against those documents. In this case, there will be 2 events that get scheduled. However, the retention category only schedules one of those events. We're going to demonstrate a different way of scheduling the second event in just a moment. For now, let's take a closer look at the retention category. We have a few bits of information to provide. Starting at the top, the ID is a number that you assign to uniquely identify the retention category. Many records management standards require that each retention category have a unique numeric ID. As you build out the file plan, you may want to use this ID to group retention categories together. The retention category label is a free-form text field. As a best practice, this field should describe the event that will be scheduled by this retention category. Once the label has been set, the retention category name is automatically set as a combination of ID and label. The only other property we need to set for this example is the event template that will be used to schedule events for financial audits. That leads us to the next step of setting up the event templates. The event group template is a configuration that controls how AutoRecords will treat documents that are part of this retention category. All event group templates follow a simple pattern of after some triggering criteria has been met, wait some period of time, and then perform some action. For this event group template, we will have a date trigger based on the created date. The trigger property is the creation date associated to the file. It's worth examining this a bit closer. We need to think about modern records management as being a natural part of the document lifecycle from the very beginning. Records management policies are assigned to documents the moment they are created, and at some point in their lifecycle, a retention period begins counting. Sometimes it's after a document reaches a certain status. Other times it's after some date has been set on the document, such as an expiration date. In this case, as soon as the document is created, we know what the retention period is, so we base our retention off of the creation date. The next property we set is the period. Recalling that our goal is to have someone review this document 1 month before deletion, we're going to set our period to 119 months. So we'll set up a time period of months and set the value to 119. This is 1 month short of 10 years. The next thing we'll do is assign the action we're going to perform. In this case, we're going to create an assignment for the policy owner so they know to review the document. We'll use the action template of Assign to Policy Owner. This will create an mFiles assignment object in the system linked to the document that needs to be reviewed. Finally, at the bottom, we have a property called Next Event to Schedule. When this is filled in, AutoRecords will schedule the next event once it has performed the actions associated with the current event. So in this case, once the assignment has been created for the policy owner to review the document, AutoRecords will then schedule the deletion event. Looking at the deletion event, again we are scheduling the trigger off of the date created. But this time, instead of scheduling the event for 119 months after creation, AutoRecords will schedule the event a full 10 years after the creation date. Finally, we select a direct action because we're going to be performing a deletion against the file and don't need to invoke mFiles workflows to do additional processing. It's worth pointing out that while this event group template was specified as a next event to schedule, it could also have been set up in the retention category. The results would be similar with one subtle difference. When set up with the event groups chained together using the next event to schedule, the user experience when viewing the files is a little more straightforward and less confusing. Rather than seeing multiple events scheduled at different times for a document, they see that it's going to be reviewed in 119 months after the document was created. After 119 months, the policy owner will be assigned, and then they will see that the document is scheduled to be deleted. Chaining together events in this way can make it easier for the end users to understand what's going on with retention. It's also useful in situations where whatever happens in one event group must take place before the next event. We'll have another example showing how that works with a document that must be approved before it gets deleted. However, in this example, we're simply going to notify the user that something needs to be reviewed. With that, we've set up the 3 primary objects necessary for AutoRecords to perform this retention. The policy is used to ensure only financial documents are included, and we created a trigger to further limit it to only those financial documents with a document type of audit. The retention category schedules the first event, which creates an assignment for a policy owner to review the document. That event schedules the next event to delete and destroy the document after 10 years. We set up a period of 10 years and 119 months for the event group templates, and both event group templates use a shared date trigger of created date. Once AutoRecords runs, we can see how all this gets linked together. mFiles will automatically create all the associations between the policy, the retention category, the event templates, the next event to schedule, the document, and its associated event to have the policy owner review after 9 years and 11 months. If we examine the metadata of the document, we can see all the records management information, including the scheduled event which will assign the document to the policy owner for review. Looking at that event, we can see that the event date is 9 years and 11 months from the trigger date, which is the date the document was created. Using the mFiles 360-degree view and AutoRecords provide our records manager with full visibility into the retention of this document and allows us to confirm that this document will indeed be assigned for review 1 month before it gets deleted. As we wrap up this video, we want to encourage you to check out our other sample configuration videos to learn how the power and flexibility of records management in mFiles can help your organization achieve its compliance and records management goals. For more information about records management in mFiles with AutoRecords, please contact mFiles or Team IM. Thank you for watching.